忍びの時代は終わる。
螺旋が
The most iconic thing in the Naruto and Boruto universe is cells. Yeah, even though I know there are tons of interesting things in the Naruto and Boruto world, honestly, I don't even know how to perfectly describe it. But at the very least, cells in this universe are one of the most crucial components and play a key role in giving many characters significant transformations or power boosts. From being the main trigger that allowed a top-tier villain like Madara to reawaken his prime form for the second time, the insane power that came from using Hashirama's cells is undeniable. But when we talk about cells in the Boruto era, things just get even more insane. Like, way more insane. Like Ida, Daemon, Kawaki, Code, and Koji, they are cyborgs created by Amado, who inherited the powers of the Otsutsuki gods because Amado transplanted Shibai Otsutsuki's cells into them. Shibai was an Otsutsuki who held the highest rank in the history of the Otsutsuki clan, having absorbed and consumed the life energy of various planets and ascended to a higher dimension. And still talking about cells, we all know and agree that after the 4th Shinobi World War arc, the strongest ninja after Hashirama is Naruto. But what is the main topic this time? Will Naruto's cells become as strong as Hashirama's cells? And if in the end Naruto's cells can be used like Hashirama's cells, will he be able to access power like Naruto? But first, just how powerful are Hashirama's cells? Throughout history, these cells have been used for incredible purposes. Madara once used Hashirama's cells to extend his life. Along with Black Zetsu, he also used them to create an entire army of White Zetsu. So to put it simply, every White Zetsu that appeared in the 4th Great Ninja War was a product of Hashirama's cells. But Madara wasn't the only one. Danzo, a dictator from the Leaf, also used Hashirama's cells to activate multiple Sharingan in his arm, all thanks to the help of the legendary Sannin, Orochimaru. And even in the Boruto era, Orochimaru once conducted a research and created an artificial human who was obsessed with an Itachi Uchiha. He was named Shinuchiya, in which Hashirama cells had an important role in creating a human with a Sharingan all over his head. Although not explicitly explained, it is highly likely that Shinuchiya's body was modified with Hashirama cell-based technology, because in fact, only Hashirama cells can stabilize the amount of Sharingan in his body, and an example of this is Danzo. So although it is not directly mentioned, it is almost certain that the experiments on Shin involve technology derived from Hashirama cells. And of course, if in the Shinobi World War, strong enemies like Obito and Madara have extreme regeneration abilities, there is almost certainly Hashirama's cells involved. So now that we briefly know how powerful Hashirama cells are, here comes the real point. Will Naruto's cells become like Hashirama's? But certainly, to be like Hashirama, Naruto must have personal innate power equal to a god tree. In other words, we have to ignore Kurama in this case, because I'm sure you all agree that Kurama is a sealed power and not Naruto's innate power as an Uzumaki, right? Even though many people believe that Naruto was only strong because of Kurama and that he had a large chakra reserve because of Kurama, the undeniable fact is Naruto naturally had a massive amount of chakra simply because he's an Uzumaki, am I right? But if we compare Naruto to other Uzumaki clan members, like Nagato, who was chosen as the vessel for the Rinnegan, or Karin, whose chakra has been used multiple times to heal others just by biting her, can we actually conclude that Naruto's pure chakra without Kurama might not be as large as that of Nagato or Karin? After all, both of them are also 100% Uzumaki. So for this case, I'd love to hear what you guys think. And now, from various aspects, here are the 4 conditions that must be fulfilled if Naruto's cells are to be used the same way Hashirama's cells were. First and most important, death. Because technically Naruto is still alive inside the Daikokunin dimension. He hasn't truly died, and in fact, he's not even aging at all while he's in there. But based on my analysis, death may not be an absolute requirement. In other words, there are still 2 possible sources to obtain Naruto's cells, either through tissue and blood donation or via cloning. Second is stability and chakra content. We all know that Hashirama cells are strong because they contain pure Ashura chakra and natural regenerative abilities, right? Naruto is actually the same. Naruto has Ashura plus Uzumaki chakra. Not only that, guys, he also has chakra from all Biju and also Hagoromo chakra. Third is capability or genetic compatibility. Although Hashirama cells are highly sought after by all shinobi and they are obsessed with the power of Hashirama, there is certainly a dark spot as a payoff if they are not compatible with the cells. Because in fact, everyone has different genetics. In other words, if their bodies can't take the transplanted cells, then they'll die. And this might be the reason why Amato didn't transplant the Shibai cells to himself and preferred to transplant the Shibai cells to his cyborg creation. So the point is, since Naruto is a shinobi who is even on par with Hashirama, or even surpasses Hashirama, the most important thing is the compatibility test. But in my personal opinion, it seems that Naruto's cells in the future will most likely only be able to be used for only the descendants of Uzumaki, Senju, or other large clans that are able to survive. But what do you guys think? Then this fourth one is probably the same as the third one, which is a biological engineering. In order to maximize the effect of Naruto's cells, genetic engineering should be done like what Orochimaru did to Yamato and Shin Uchiha. In other words, experiments can include grafting to artificial bodies and DNA activation through special techniques such as curse seals, chakra, or something like that. But for this case, which do you think is more relevant, guys? So in conclusion, Naruto's cells could theoretically be used in the same way as Hashirama's cells. But considering the immense power Naruto has, which, let's be honest, we can all agree surpasses Hashirama in terms of raw strength and chakra reserves, then the conditions and risks involved would also scale accordingly with the potential outcome. Makes sense, right? However, since Naruto is currently trapped in the Daikokuten dimension, with no clear confirmation or indication of when he'll return or be freed, creating a clone or using any part of his body is nothing more than a plot twist waiting to happen. But if the question is, can it be done? Then yes, I believe Naruto's cells could be utilized just like Hashirama's, although the requirements would likely be more special, specific, and complicated. Because Naruto's chakra affinity isn't something ordinary, it goes far beyond what we usually imagine. Do you agree, guys? But now I want to hear your thoughts. If in the future Naruto's cells could be transplanted, who do you think would be the most relevant shinobi or best candidate to receive them? And lastly, I know this might all sound like nonsense to some people, but what do you think? Do the reasons I laid out make sense to you? If there's anything you disagree with, or if I missed something, let's talk about it in the comments. Yeah, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm Nim. Bye bye, Dadabayo.